Hey there, David Delgado, Freedom Choice Lending President and CEO. Today's video, we're going to be going over a very interesting topic in terms of developing your career as a real estate agent. And we're going to really focus on Craig Proctor's list building strategies and how most real estate agents ignore them. And all they're doing is, I see a lot of times where even they might generate some leads, but there's no strategy behind generating leads. And we're going to dive deeper into lead generation. So when you build a list, not just leads, something changes. And I'm going to touch on a few things. So if you're a real estate agent looking to grow your business, one thing about growing a real estate business, it takes time, and it's really the long-term play. In a business, if you take a look at Amazon, there's years before Amazon actually turned a profit, right? So if you're a real estate agent looking to turn a profit like tomorrow, maybe there's some short-term strategies that you can do right away to get some short-term wins. But what most real estate agents fail to recognize, that top agents like Craig Proctor, former RE/MAX agent, number one at RE/MAX worldwide, right? So former number one RE/MAX agent worldwide, and countless others that he's coached and trained. He trains them how to build a list. So at its core, it's very simple, right? Number one, they create these ad campaigns and they drive these prospects to value-based offers, right? So they make these irresistible offers for an exchange to capture their contact information. And today, websites are so easy to do that. And there's many different platforms that you can do this as well. And then the third step, though, is a follow-up system, right? This is where they follow up relentlessly, like following up with these leads and being at the right place at the right time. But as long as you're providing some sort of education. So the framework that I like to look at, what we do here is on our mortgage team, is we educate, we coach, and then we sell the client. And I suggest you have some sort of framework of every time you're talking to somebody that evolves around this. And selling doesn't mean that you're always closing for an appointment. Selling could be just connecting with people. You're selling you, right? But you got to be able to educate, coach them, help them out, and then sell them on either booking an appointment or maybe just selling them on you, creating a relationship. There's a lot, I think, that goes into selling and then closing for that appointment when the timing is right. And the last one is converting, like I mentioned, when the timing is right. That's really critical. And the only way you're going to tell if you're converting them at the right time is by how often are you engaged with these leads and based on their timing and motivation. So, if you've been around the real estate industry for long enough, right? I'm sure you've heard the name Craig Proctor, right? He's known for his guarantees, fast growth systems in terms of building teams and businesses while not relying on cold calling or door knocking. See, it's not the ads, it's not the slogans, and it's not even the guarantees that convert these leads. It might generate the leads, but sometimes it's not even the guarantees that generate the leads. It could be the ad. But what converts these leads into a prospect? Craig Proctor is well known for, when he was the number one real estate agent at RE/MAX, selling well above 500 houses per year. And he's coached and trained many other agents doing the same thing. Okay. And some of these real estate agents that I've been able to get to know over the years, they have a phenomenal business. And what most people don't realize, it's the Craig Proctor system, right? Some of these are the former number one Coldwell Banker agents, Keller Williams agents. Some of these are the largest independent agents according to NAR, like in the top 10. So these are some agents that taken his concepts that we're going over right now, applied it and perfected it in their market, right? So if you're a real estate agent closing fewer than 12 deals a year, this one shift can double your production without ever increasing your ad budget, right? There's systems in place that, as a lead generator, I like to look at myself as a marketer, right? I market for business. So as a marketer, there's certain things that we have to do to build these lists out, and then we market to them on a continuous basis. So, the real estate asset isn't leads, as I just mentioned. It's in the list. It's also known as your database, right? So, what kind of good database to use? I get the question all the time. Well, the one that you're going to actually use. I have a database that has AI built in there. It's got all the sequence of following up nurture. It's got a dialer in there. And if you like to know where we get this, and you can have one for your real estate business as well, just give us a call at the office and I'll share that with you. Phone number is 866-587-6927. Just give us a call or shoot us a text and we'll point you in the right direction. So using a database can really streamline the process, but more importantly, it keeps you organized, right? There's only so much a spreadsheet can do, and I use spreadsheets as well, by the way. What I like about a really good smart CRM is a lot of these CRMs, like even Follow Up Boss and others, you can actually have what they call a smart list. A smart list is almost like an Excel spreadsheet, but it's built within the CRM, right? So I can create multiple smart lists. I have real estate agents that I work with, right? These are business partners, and they send over their leads, and we've got an ISA team, and we build a smart list for that real estate agent, and we call that list of leads. It's like a list on an Excel spreadsheet, but it's contained in our CRM. So that way we can put notes in there. We can create follow-ups, right? We can find out their timing, motivation, schedule potential follow-ups after that, give them educational things like our Ultimate Home Buyer's Guide, right? This is a powerful tool that we use to educate the client. Like this is right out of it. This is called the Dream Home Checklist, right? So we have the Dream Home Checklist. It has all the different features of a home. That this is a really good, powerful tool that we give to our clients so they can go through this. And a lot of times, they might know the number of bedrooms that they're looking for, but how about the more specific things that maybe they haven't really thought about? Well, this is going to help them narrow down that search and really speed up the process of buying. But the purpose of us giving this Ultimate Home Buyer's Guide is there's nine steps in that guide, and it really helps the client through the home buying process, right? It's educating them. So just imagine if you had this guide, you provide it for free without any obligation, and then down the road, you actually, set an appointment with them, and now you're working on this home buyer's guide, building massive amount of trust, right? See, most agents are chasing transactions. Top agents, they build databases, and that's exactly what I just went over right now. It takes time. I would say on average, right around 18 months from the time that somebody generates a lead to the time they close. Yeah, there's some things that maybe not the full 18 months, and I get that. So just imagine, like, what if you had generated 20 leads, right? Your goals, you generated 20 leads, and you converted 5% of those within the first, let's say, 90 days, okay? Well, what about the other 95%? What are you going to do with those? This is what I'm talking about. You build a database, you organize those leads in terms of buyers, sellers, investors, past clients. Keep it real simple, right? A really good database, you can add tags in there. So that means, maybe you want to tag the buyers as first-time buyers, second home buyers, things like that. And then you might have a separate list for investors, okay? So when you generate that lead, what they're doing is they're filling out a form, but the list is something that you nurture the audience, right? The audience is what you're after. That's like, anyone that's advertising on a Super Bowl commercial, they're spending tens of millions of dollars to create an audience for that product or services. Well, most agents don't have tens of millions of dollars. So what audience are you going to create, right? So Craig Proctor built his system around this simple truth. Whoever owns the relationship owns the business. So if there's, let's say, 1,000 buyers in your market that are going to be buying a home in the next 30 days, right? The agent that owns those relationships with those prospects We're not talking like some of these prospects aren't going to buy a home tomorrow. But over time, like every month in your city, they might have 1,000 transactions. So you got to look at that. Whoever owns those relationships, whoever's developing those relationships, whoever's creating trust with those prospects owns the business. They actually own the business. And what you want to do is you want to create your own Zillow, right? Because Zillow is your competitor, whether you like it or not, right? So, but if you create this, you become your own Zillow in your city. And so that way, when they jump on Zillow, hopefully they don't, right? Hopefully they're just on your website searching for properties. But let's say they do jump on Zillow. They're not selecting that agent that they think is the listing agent that's representing the seller of the home, right? Little do they know they're going to be talking to a third party or a buyer's agent, right? That has no affiliation a lot of times with that property. And then they basically, Zillow are taking your business, right? But if you had a relationship, people that trust you, you're going to own that business. So when they see that property that comes up that really sparks their interest, that they get super excited about, they're not going to put their information on that website. They're actually going to pick up the phone and call you, right? So you don't want to start this system all over again when you lose that client, right? You want to constantly be working your digital farm, right? This is what I would call the digital farm in the modern day ages, because previously we didn't have computer systems, websites, Zillow, and people would have to go door knocking to go find their farm. Well, today you can build your list and create your own digital farm, right? So the list actually solves a lot of issues when you're building it right? Having this strategy is going to solve a lot of issues. It's going to make your closings more consistent, right? It's going to allow you to scale your business, right? So at its core, it's very simple. Your job is to drive prospects into a value-based offer, right? Offering them something, capture that contact information, follow up with them, have some good information to follow up with them by educating them, right? It could be videos, education. It could be giving them the ultimate buyer's guide. We'll give you a free copy of that, right? Giving this out to your clients and then following up with them, seeing how the education process is coming along, right? This is not something sexy to do, but it's got to be very systematic, right? So you got to have this lead magnet that's you're receiving the buyer's contact information. So Proctor came out something that's very famous for, which is, the free recorded list of homes, right? Or the guaranteed sales program, right? So really at the end of the day, he's offering something of value for the client that becomes irresistible. So they give you their information, and now you can use that to follow up with them. So here's some other ideas that Craig Proctor is known for. A free list of bank foreclosure properties, free list of homes under, let's say your market value is $400,000. So under $400,000. VIP access to off-market homes. That's a really good one, right? How about this one? The trade-up program. Trade-up program is a part of his guaranteed sales program. Phenomenal programs that they offer here. It's very irresistible. Cash offer on your home in 24 hours or less, guaranteed. That's another one. So you see, real top performing agents, they just don't capture leads. They're building lists and then they're following up with it. Most agents will call that lead once or twice, text them, and then move on, right? And that doesn't really going to take you too far, right? Because like I mentioned, most buyers are going to transact right around 6 to 18 months down the road. And you want to be in that process, right? Of course, you might get that one buyer or two that buys, in 30 days or so. But what about all the others, all the 95 to 98% of all the other leads that you're getting? What are they doing? And I remember doing a test. I had this real estate agent. I said, hey, give me your leads. and I'm going to call these leads for you. And so he gave me all these leads, about 100 of them. These are leads that technically they didn't respond, or they weren't interested, or they just didn't answer the phone. Like maybe they got ghosted. So he gave me this 100 leads, and my team and myself went to work. We started calling those leads one after another. Keep in mind, this list was at least a year old. One lead after another. We probably pulled at least 5 leads that already bought a home within our first day. And then we kept on calling, and then we started getting appointments that this lead was interested in selling their home, right? And buying another home. And we kept on doing that. We kept on working that list. And before you know it, we got another 2 out of that list. See, it's not what happens today or tomorrow when we start following up. It what happens after the fact, right? And so if you may not have the bandwidth to call these leads, right? Maybe you're super busy with all the other things that you're doing right now. If you need some help with that, just give me a call. We got a full ISA team. The inside sales agent team is going to be calling those leads for you on your behalf, and then referring back the leads that are motivated, are qualified to buy or sell, right back onto your day timer there, and put them on your calendar to follow up. You see, a strategy requires this. It requires automated emails to nurture. Okay. It's got to have some sort of educational videos. I like to use a blog, right? So you got to have some sort of blog also. And if you need help with this, just reach out. I'll walk you through the process. You got to have some sort of market updates. Okay. A mortgage update. This is, something that I can help you do because people are interested in what's happening with the mortgage markets. You can have some retargeted ads using a lot of times Google or even Facebook to retarget your marketing. You want to be that real estate agent that, again, wherever this client is looking at, they're online, they're offline, they're hearing about you, they're seeing about you, you become that Zillow in that market. And I see that agents that do this, they dominate their market, right? So if you want to dominate and win more clients over to more sales, increase your revenue, right? Then this is how it works. This is exactly how it works. And if you want a step-by-step plan, I'll walk you through the process because this is what I do. I'm going to show you exactly what needs to be done. I'll give you a plan in place so that way you can now go out there and execute this plan. You see, one of the steps that we talk about is education over pressure, right? So it's really not about closing, right? It's really about positioning. See, when you educate people, you're positioning yourself as an expert, right? So there's other tools that we can use to position yourself at a very high level, right? You want to be, I was referring to Zillow in your market, but let's take a look at Oprah, for example. You want to be that Oprah, right? Everybody, I'm sure if you're watching this video, knows Oprah, right? And Oprah is famous, right? And so if you become that Oprah, because Oprah has a big audience, right? That's exactly what you want to create. You want to create this audience of people that are potential home buyers and sellers that they're thinking about buying or selling down the road. All they did is they raised their hand, and you're going to be able to educate them, teach them some strategies, educate them on the market, and show them exactly what it's going to take. Maybe even sit down with them and do a consultation with them. And that's what I like. I train agents on how to use a buyer presentation, even a listing presentation. We provide that absolutely free of charge, no obligations to do business with us. So this presentation will start to show the clients, right, why you're the chosen one in your marketplace. Wouldn't that be nice? Like when they think about buying or selling, they're thinking about you, like you become the chosen one. You see, education, and it takes time. It takes training those buyers and sellers to build massive amount of trust. So you become the chosen one, the obvious choice, right? Now, when you do that, you're just going to grow your business, right? As I mentioned, if you convert 5% of your leads every month, you're going to be able to, with the right strategy that we're talking about here, you're going to double that over the next 12 to even maybe 18 months. What does that do is it puts thousands of dollars back into your business so you can further increase your business without ever increasing your ad spend. When I start working with a partner, business partner, like a real estate agent, right? And we're like, hey, let's help grow your business. And I say, well, let's take a look at the leads that you have now. And like, well, these leads right over here, I have 80, just talked to another realtor recently. I have about 83 leads. None of them are ready to buy. Some of them are ghosts, right? That's the first place to start, because what we want to do is extract as much as possible. What if we're able to get one, maybe two more, right? That's about a 5 to 10% increase over the next 12 months. That could put an extra in, depending on your market, it could be either 5,000, 10,000, even 20. I don't know your market, right? So it's a variable, right? But just calculate that. An additional 5 to 10% increase on conversion to sales. What kind of immediate impact would that have in your business over the next 12 months, right? It could have a substantial impact. It could make the difference of how your next 12 months after that, how that looks, because now you're taking money that you're generated that you wouldn't have otherwise. Now you're able to put it to work and build more lists, right? So that's going to allow you to scale. It creates more opportunity. That builds business. It's a business ownership building process that we're talking about, right? So it does take systems that we talk about. It does take scripts and dialogues. It does take patience. It does require for somebody to be very disciplined and consistent with the process. It's not something that's going to happen on an instant gratification. We all want that instant gratification, don't we? Like the consumer wants instant gratification when they put their information in your website. They want instant gratification as far as what you're offering and what you're going to get back to them. Sometimes it could be just a simple text autoresponder saying, hey, well, I received your information and I'm working on it, right? That's what the instant gratification that we all want. Well, building a real estate business, building these lists takes time. It takes time. It may feel a bit slow. It's almost like you're that farmer that's planting seeds and you got to water those crops, right? The more you water, guess what? The bigger the crop, right? The more you water your clients, you're going to create buyer loyalty, seller loyalty. And the agent that does this perfects the system. Those are the agents that I've met. They started off with 1 to 2 transactions a year, and then that grew to 5, 10, 20 transactions a year. Before you know it, now they can scale that business and they're doing hundreds of transactions a year. They went from one agent, they're being solo agent, to hiring their first maybe buyer's agents, listing agent, and now expanding that business. Now they have 5, 10, 20, 30, 60 people on a real estate team selling hundreds, if not thousands of homes, right? Providing a means for people in their business, such as their team, to have an impact and receive, right, what that team leader is offering in terms of more money, right? Or just opportunity. So if you like what you're seeing or hearing here and you want some more information, just reach out. Phone number is 866-587-6927. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel today and post any comments, good or bad, good, the ugly, whatever it might be. I would love to read what you have to say. And hopefully, one day we can meet. Again, my name is David Delgado, President and CEO with Freedom Choice Lending. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.